Okay.
We're live.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Hi, my name is Scrappy Fan 92, and for the love of Pete, why are we playing Hyrule Warriors again?
because yes, yes. That's my answer.
He's got to get through it someday.
Good evening, everyone, and happy 2025. My name is Scrappy Fan 92, and you are watching Storytime with Scrappy and Friends. With me today are Harry and Raideran.
Boo.
That's me.
Yes, another small cast today, sort of. We are back to read The Miraculous World of Caline Bustier, a series of miraculous ladybug stories written by Renoken. Last session, we had Miss Bustier kind of having a heart-to-heart with Adrian / Cat Noir about their, I guess, mutually passed mothers. It was quite sad, and there was also a taco monster for reasons. Today's adventure, Miss Bustier has to help Marinette when she falls ill. That's it. That's the summary.
So stream's over?
I wish, because I have a video on downstairs that I need to watch, but no, we're just gonna make our way through chapter 4, and yeah, it's technically just the three of us today, but we do have some pre-recorded audio from some special guests.
Yep.
Yes, Mr. David Bryson and a Miss Camryn Alexis have lent their vocal cords to voice some of the characters, which means I don't have to voice Chloe anymore.
Woo.
And yes, because we are doing this before we actually get to the Great Disney Games, still happening, this is actually their official Storytime debut. So I guess without any further ado, let's get to Chapter 4 of the Miraculous World of Caline Bustier. Raideran is still narrating. And Chapter 4 of the Miraculous World of Caline Bustier. What to do when your superhero has the flu.
Caline hated detention. To be fair, all the teachers did. It was assigned round robin, and even though that made it as fair as possible, she still didn't like having to give up a Friday afternoon to stay even longer at school. Still, it could have been worse. So far, her classroom was empty. There was a horrible downpour outside, and she had a Squirtle to catch in the north corner of the room. Ooh. Ooh boy. Caline Bustier was nothing if not professional.
Hey, I'm gonna get you. And if no one's here by the time I'm done, I'm getting out of here. Mama has plans.
She mumbled as she moved around desks to catch the elusive digital creature with her phone. In truth, those plans primarily involved Netflix and a pizza that she swore she would only eat 2 pieces of and then save the rest. But we're adults here. We know full well that she's eating that entire thing by 1 a.m. Caline was so focused on her phone that she didn't notice she was alone. She wasn't alone until she heard someone clear their throat from behind her. Caline dropped her phone in surprise and with a small squawk reached out for it a bit too late. Ugh. I'm already getting tongue-tied. That's not good. It bounced off the floor with a loud cracking sound and slid under a table.
Well, darn.
She turned around to see who she had embarrassed herself in front of to find none other than Miss Marinette Dupain Chang. Hi, Marinette said with a small wave. I'm here for detention. Where would you like me to sit? Caline blinked twice as she processed this, and then shook her head clear.
What? Really? Okay, take a seat over there while I get my phone.
She scurried under the table to grab her cell while Marinette sat in her old seat and proceeded to get her design notebook out from her bag. Caline grumbled at the crack that had appeared on her screen.
That's what I get for not buying the screen protector.
After straightening her blouse and making her way back to the front of the room, she turned and stared at Marinette for a moment.
Marinette?
Yes, ma'am? Marinette said, looking up from her sketchbook.
Don't take this the wrong way, but why are you here? You're literally, literally the last person I expected. You're literally the last person I expected to see get detention. Did you get into a fight with?
Caline's eyes went wide as visions of Marinette giving Rossi?
Lila Rossi.
Lila Rossi, a superhuman body slam through a cafeteria table, flashed through her mind. Marinette shook her head. No, ma'am, I got banned from the video game club for a week. Caline's eyebrow went up at that.
Really? Really? What happened?
Marinette squirmed in her seat a little and went slightly red from embarrassment. Well, the room was packed with cheering classmates as Marinette shot off a finisher combo on Alex's robot. On the screen, a green mech started jumping up and down in victory. Alex shrugged and set her controller down, but before she could even get out a good game, Marinette had exploded. You know what? I'm gonna get up and close my door again. I'm gonna make sure it's closed. Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that before I yelled for this next one. Oh, man. Did that go through?
Sort of.
Ah!
Yeah, it kind of cut off.
That cut off too.
Ah! Today I learned Discord hates me.
It always has.
Boom! Marinette yelled as she leapt atop her seat. She pointed with both hands right in Alex's face and started hopping from one foot to the other. Oh. Ooh.
Have fun with it, I guess. Take
Yeah,
whatever.
Can you tell I can't do energy?
Take whatever interpretation you need to take.
This is how you do it. I smoked you. Hell yeah. She spun around, picked up her controller, and threw it with all her might at the floor while screaming. Oh, God. Welcome to the jungle, motherfucker! The controller exploded on impact. Marinette was breathing hard and grinning like a mad woman at Alex. Alex remained frozen, her eyes wide with shock, as were the rest of the rooms. Marinette cleared her throat and moved an errant hair out of place as she looked to the others with a smile. So, who's gone next? I guess it's worth mentioning that was flashback. There is no flashback transitions written into the story. Okay, so end flashback. I get a little competitive at video games. Caline nodded at that. She had heard stories from the other students. While she may have been Disney princess level sweet most of the time, it was well known that Marinette had a vicious streak in her when it came to competitive gaming.
Well, since you're here, you can help me out.
Caline said with her warmest smile.
I'd like to commission you for a project, and this gives us time to discuss it.
Oh? Okay, Marinette said with a slight smile. What can I do for you? Caline opened the pictures on her phone and brought up a picture of a young boy. From the photo, he looked no older than 8.
This is Alan, my neighbor's son. He's a huge fan of superheroes, and his birthday's in a couple of weeks. His mother's been looking high and low for a decent costume that would fit him, but she's had some trouble.
How so? Marinette asked as she looked at the photo.
Well,
Caline said.
his favorite hero is Ladybug, but he wants the version that, do you remember back when the Lady blog showed her and Cat Noir switching places?
Marinette nodded. She absolutely did remember that day very well.
He wants to be the miraculous Mr. Bug,
Caline said with a smile.
and there is no such costume either online or in stores.
Marinette nodded. So, you want me to design it?
Name your rate.
Caline said.
Mary is a good neighbor and friend, and I want to do this for her. I'm happy to pay I'm happy to pay for the services of the best designer in Paris.
Marinette blushed heavily at that. Thank you, Miss Bustier, but you're being too kind. I mean, there's plenty of good designers out there. Heck, Gabriel Agreste lives right here in...
Screw Gabriel Agreste.
Caline said a little too quickly. She covered her mouth.
Look at me, I hate him so much I can't even pronounce his name correctly. Sorry, you didn't hear that. What I meant to say was I believe that you are the best qualified person to take this job, and I'm willing to pay your market rate. What do you say?
Marinette smiled and laughed a little. Well, while I can't agree with your opinion, I also won't turn down the work. Can you get me measurements? Caline handed Marinette a post-it.
I had his mother take them last night. I planned ahead.
Caline watched Marinette as the young girl put the post-it in her notebook and was already biting her lip as she decided to scribble down some notes.
Marinette, Marinette, please understand, you don't have to do this. If you're too busy with your job, I understand.
Marinette took a few seconds to process that. She glanced up at Caline. My job? Caline stared back at Marinette.
I'll understand. I promise.
Marinette swallowed and nodded. Yeah, it's kind of a on-demand work. So yeah, I should have enough time. Sure. My job. Caline hummed a bit and pretended to pay close attention to the placement of a pencil on her desk.
So, things going well at work?
Marinette stiffened and nodded. Yes. Yes, they are. Things have actually been a bit quiet for the last 2 days, so, there hasn't been a lot to do. Caline nodded.
Getting along with your coworkers?
Marinette blushed a bit. Sure, why do you ask? Caline shook her head and smiled.
No reason, dear. No reason.
Someday, Caline hoped they could stop dancing around the fact that she knew, and that Marinette knew that she knew, and that both were trying to pretend that the other didn't know, while acknowledging that they knew. There was a flash of light from the windows, followed by a crash of thunder. Caline glanced at the windows and then at her student.
Okay, I'm going to level with you. It's only going to get worse out there. I don't want to be here on a Friday. Do you want to be here on a Friday?
Marinette smiled and shook her head no.
I didn't think so. Let's say we call this project Time Served and go enjoy our very wet week.
I think I can live with that, Marinette said. And Miss Bustier?
Yes, dear.
Marinette smiled warmly at her teacher. I'm not sure what happened, but thank you for cheering Adrian up. He told me you spoke to him about something important and that it really helped him. He even managed to have a talk with his dad. That, never happens. Caline smiled.
I was happy to help. And I'm always here. If you need me, that is.
Internally, Caline was squealing. One of her guilty pleasures was shipping Ladybug and Cat Noir. Since they were both in front of her daily, she was never without new material to fuel her wild speculations. Still, she did her best to give them space and respect their boundaries. She swore on a stack of Bibles that she never actually wrote anything, but that was sober Caline. Drunk Caline's inbox was filled with comments. Ooh. Spicy. Marinette nodded and then gathered her things. She tucked her sketchbook into her bag and sealed it tight before bringing out a broken old umbrella.
Marinette?
Caline asked when she saw the umbrella.
Would you like to borrow mine? That thing looks like it's a little broken.
Marinette glanced at the umbrella and blushed a little. No, it's fine. This one is special to me.
10 euros says it was Adrian's.
Caline thought to herself as the young woman waved goodbye and headed out of the classroom. A moment later, Caline caught sight of a red blur flying past her window.
She's going to get sick if she keeps running around in this weather.
Caline mumbled. The first sign something was wrong was when Caline took attendance Monday morning. Marinette was nowhere to be seen. Now, this wasn't all that unusual. The girl did have a permanent hall pass, and Caline had up and told her she could be late from time to time if she needed to be. But still. Adrian was sitting right there, smiling and chatting with Nino, so Caline didn't think the absence was work-related. By lunchtime, Caline was getting worried. Still no sign of Marinette. By math, Caline finally just up and asked the class.
Has anyone heard or seen from Marinette? Does anyone know why she's absent today?
Julika raised her hand.
She has the flu or something.
Rose nodded.
Oh gosh, I don't got any to squeal. It's true, we went to check on her yesterday. The poor dear is delirious with fever.
Caline nodded a thank you, but internally she was already concerned. If Marinette was sick, did that mean... Could superheroes get sick? Did their health improve when they transformed? She had no clue.
Well, let's just hope this day passes without incident and Marinette can get some good rest and recover.
Caline thought to herself. Not 3 seconds later. Not 3 seconds later. Everyone's phones buzzed at the same time.
Akuma, I cannot do his voice. Akuma alert.
Max announced, checking his phone.
It looks like it's at the Louvre. Cannot pronounce that. I know it's not right here, but does this mean...
Caline nodded.
All right, everyone. Class postponed until the threat is confirmed, detained. And since it's already mid-afternoon, we'll call it class dismissed. Call your parents, let them know you're safe, and get to shelter. The gym is open as always.
Chloe stood up as the class gathered their things.
All that that.
Yeah, now it's time for the lines.
Did anyone hear it?
I didn't.
I heard nothing.
Oh, oh, for the love of.
Oh, oh wait, I need to, hold on. Okay, play it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, this is lovely.
Awesome.
Are you screen sharing just the media player?
Yeah, that's where Chloe's lines are.
Okay. It worked when you screen shared Discord.
Yeah, Discord is where one character's lines are. I had to also do it for Chloe.
Oh no.
The media
Yeah,
player
I
is
don't
where
think-
Chloe's lines are.
Yeah, I don't think he has Chloe's lines in Discord.
Ooh.
Oh wait, no, never mind. Okay. One more time.
Nope, still nothing.
No.
Okay, what the hell? Alright, let me try.
I love Discord, dude.
Alright, let me try with the internet. I have the files on the internet as well.
Okay.
So it should be about 11 seconds in.
Live troubleshooting brought to you by our sponsor, Scrappy.
Three, two, one.
Okay, I could hear that for a second.
I heard it
Why is
for a moment.
Yeah.
What is with this gosh damn computer?
Oh, the struggles. What's it doing?
Oh my God.
I think it's literally screwing with you.
If you ask me, I hate using Google Drive for audio. It just doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
We tested this out earlier. What the heck?
Oh god. This is lovely. Yeah, I heard it for like half a second and then it just...
Yeah, that has stopped. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Scrappy, what if you do display capture and not window capture? I'm using like OBS terms, but I don't know what it's called in in Discord.
Do you mean like have Scrappy share his entire screen, or?
Yeah.
I would assume that wouldn't work, but you can try it.
You're not seeing my screen right now, correct?
I can see your
Yes,
screen, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
This is amazing.
Scrappy, are you there?
This is
Yes. Hi, I'm here.
Hi.
Okay, okay.
So the audience is not seeing my screen right now.
No, they're not seeing your screen. They're just seeing this pause menu right now.
Okay. That means I can screw around with the thing
Yeah.
without someone seeing my emails.
No, I would.
Okay,
I wouldn't want that to be shown on air, anyways.
All right, let's try again. 3, 2, 1.
Not to worry, everyone. I've totally got this. Pollen, buzz on.
Okay, we heard that.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Got it.
Yeah.
That was her line.
Lord, hopefully
All
it
right,
doesn't.
folks.
Hopefully it doesn't mess with us that badly each time. Jesus.
I hope to God. The class watched in awe as Chloe transformed into Queen Bee in front of them. Caline had to admit that Windows error. I love sudden Windows pop-ups.
Oh my God.
At least I'm just glad it wasn't me.
Caline had to admit that while distracting, it was kind of awesome to watch a Miraculous holder appear in front of them. Still, rules were rules. Caline would remind the blonde tomorrow morning that transforming in the classroom had been banned after the pasta incident. Caline shuddered.
Never again.
She muttered to herself. Some things were simply too dark to discuss. Caline tore her eyes off of Chloe for a moment to glance over to Adrian, but what caught her eye even more was the reaction of the other children. Some were watching with awe, but some looked upset, even sad.
I wonder.
Caline thought to herself. If Marinette was Ladybug, then it would make sense that she would tap her friends for help. Did they not get to keep their powers? Why does that feel so weird to say? Did they not get to keep their powers? Caline made a mental note to devote an evening to the Lady blog to do some research. As Queen Bee charged out the door, Adrian followed closely behind, as did the rest of the class. Caline watched them go and wondered if they would be okay. She knew Chloe had appeared a lot more as Queen Bee in the last week or so, but she also knew that Ladybug seemed to be the team leader. And if no one knew who the other was, did they even know she was sick? Caline shrugged.
Well, I'm sure they've dealt with worse.
She said to herself as she packed up her notes for the day.
I mean, there's 2 of them. They'll be fine.
Caline ended up staying a tad longer than she had planned to. The quizzes she had to hand back the next day had an essay portion, and she wanted to make sure they were finished before heading out. While she may not have liked grading, it was still a part of her job. She wasn't 2 steps out the door when she saw something that made her freeze. There, across the street, was Marinette. She was wrapped in what looked like a pink and blue comforter, and from what Caline could tell, she was still dressed in her PJs. Her hair looked like a rat's nest, and her eyes were glazed over as she hunched along in the direction of the loo.
Marinette?
Caline yelled.
What do you think you're doing?
She ran across traffic to her student, who was still shuffling down the sidewalk. Marinette only stopped when Caline put her hand on the girl's shoulder. Miss Bustier? Marinette asked in a voice that sounded like she was underwater. Caline cringed at the sight of her. Up close, Marinette's face was flushed and her eyes were bloodshot. While she hadn't made direct contact with any skin, Caline could tell just from looking at her that Marinette probably had that gross, spongy, sticky thing going on that comes with being incredibly sick.
Oh my gosh. She sounds so disgusted. Let me try that again. Oh my gosh. Get inside right now, young lady.
Caline snapped as she dragged Marinette across the street towards the school. But the Louvre is that way. Marinette flailed an arm in the direction of not the Louvre.
Yes, but no. But my room is this way, and you aren't going anywhere. Now, get inside this instant.
Caline said as she pulled Marinette back into the school and to her office. Marinette put up a minimal fuss as Caline ordered her onto the small pink chase in her office. Chase? Is that
Like
a thing?
Yes, like a chair or a couch, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Marinette shivered violently from within her comforter as Caline started up her hot plate to brew some tea.
Honestly, what were you thinking being out there? There is no way Tom and Sabine let you out looking like that. Did you sneak out? Oh gosh, look at you. Of course you snuck out. You can't just...
But he's got them, Marine let out with a whine. She held up her phone for Caline to see. On it was a video clip in front of the front of the Louvre. Queen Bee and Cat Noir were both on their knees, covering their heads and rocking back and forth as some strange green goo covered both of them. In between them stood what looked like a minotaur, wearing a purple suit and a pair of sunglasses.
Oh gosh, wish me luck.
Yep. The beast growled.
Y'all heard that, right?
Hold on.
Yeah, I heard.
Play it again. I was.
do it again?
I
Okay.
didn't realize. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize it was a screen share thing.
People of Paris,
Yeah, I had that.
Okay. The beast growled.
I am emotionable. Bring me Ladybug's Miraculous, or these two heroes will not live to see tomorrow.
Yep.
Caline just stared.
That is the worst name ever. Emotionable? I mean, mine wasn't much better, but wow. Wow.
They're in trouble, Marinette wheezed. Hawkmoth knows that if he takes Cat's Miraculous now, Ladybug would be putting Paris in greater danger by appearing, and she'd not appear. He's waiting to get both. I have to do something. Marinette started coughing violently as Caline quickly poured out some hot tea. Marinette wiped her nose and mumbled a thank you as she started gulping it. I have to go, Marinette said as she set the tea down and struggled to stand. Oh. They need help. Caline put her hand on Marinette's shoulders and gently pushed her back onto the chase.
You're not going anywhere. You can barely walk. If you went outside right now, well, I doubt you'd manage to get very far from the look of you.
They need me, Marinette wheezed. Her eyes were fluttering. I need. Caline glanced at Marinette and held up a bottle of Benadryl.
What you need
Caline said in a stern voice.
is sleep, which is why I spiked your tea. You'll be out in 5 minutes, so get comfy.
You can't, Marinette said as she nodded off and then snapped back awake. I have to save them. Caline looked again at the phone.
I'll admit they have their hands full, but I know they'll pull. They always do. But if you go out there, sweetie, you won't last 10 seconds like that. And then what? How bad will you feel then?
Marinette said something that sounded like words, but it came out completely garbled. A moment later, Caline sighed with relief as Marinette passed out cold onto the chase. She glanced at the phone again. While she hadn't wanted to worry the girl, Marinette had been right. Things did look pretty bad. This emotionable character seemed to have both heroes sealed up tight, and Caline wondered if any of Paris's other heroes were even able to come to their aid.
Damn it, girl.
Caline muttered to herself.
Why'd you have to go swinging in the rain this weekend? Oh, gosh. I told her... No, for Pete's sake. I told her it was a bad idea.
A small voice chirped. Caline blinked and turned around. A small red bug monster was floating in front of her. Oops, I lost my place.
Did I hear a wow?
I said oops.
No, I heard like an anime wow sound effects is somewhere in the background.
Oh. Caline screamed and tripped backwards, crashing into her desk and spilling the quizzes she had worked so hard to grade all over the floor. She scrambled away, her eyes never leaving the floating thing before her.
What are you? Did you talk? How did you talk? What's going on?
All valid questions,
Hi, I'm Tiki.
Tiki said with a smile and wave.
It was really nice of you to help Marinette. I kept telling her she was making a mistake, but she just wouldn't listen to me.
The bug, Tiki, glanced down at the sleeping Marinette.
Once she sets her mind to something, it's hard to shake her.
Caline blinked a few times as she processed what was happening in front of her. Then she remembered when she had sat down with Adrian a few nights ago, and the small voice that came from his pocket asking for cheese.
Okay.
Caline said as she took several deep breaths.
Okay. So, to be clear,
She pointed at Marinette.
I'm guessing we've officially moved past the point of pretending she isn't a superhero.
Tiki flashed Caline a warm smile.
You've been very kind to her about it, and discreet. I really do appreciate it. No one is supposed to know anything about them. It's for their own protection.
Caline laughed.
Did anyone bother to tell that to Chloe?
Tiki frowned and looked off to the side.
That was a one-off.
They stayed like that for several seconds.
Out of curiosity, how did you find out?
Tiki asked.
Star Train.
Caline answered, still not quite believing that she was talking to a magical bug.
And the internet.
Tiki nodded.
I wondered. There weren't a lot of places she could have said she was hiding, were there? Nope.
A moment passed.
Is she going to be... she going to be okay?
Caline asked, her eyes on Marinette.
Yes, she just needs to rest. She was up all weekend working on a costume project for a little boy. And that, combined with the weather, well, I think it took its toll.
Caline grimaced.
So, it's my fault that Paris is doomed.
Tiki shook her adorable head no.
That's not true, Miss Bustier. Marinette just doesn't always know how to pace herself. Or self-care. Anyway, we have bigger problems.
Tiki flew to the phone in Caline's hand.
Cat Noir and Queen Bee are are in serious trouble. And even if they manage to defeat that monster, they can't purify the Akuma. Only Ladybug can do that.
Caline looked to Marinette, who was now snoring.
But Ladybug can't.
Tiki floated up to eye level with Caline and said,
But Ladybug can.
Caline stared at Tiki for several moments before what the Gwami said clicked.
Oh no.
She said, shaking her head vigorously.
No, no, no. No. No way. Nuh-uh. Nope. We don't have a choice.
Tiki said. She pointed to Caline's phone.
That Akuma is drawing on their fears and insecurities, turning them into a solid mass. Marinette is strong enough that she might have broken through, but I don't know that those two can see past all that.
The bug had a point,
Okay,
Caline said.
so, you're sure about this? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to grab someone else? Like, literally anyone else. There isn't time for that.
Tiki said.
And besides, Marinette trusts you. So that means I do too. Please, Miss Bustier, those kids need you.
Caline felt every defense she had drop at those words.
Gosh damn it.
She muttered to herself. She looked at her phone, at her students trapped and fighting a losing battle. She looked at her kids.
What do I have to do?
She asked. Tiki smiled and floated over Marinette.
Take your earrings and put them on. Then say, Tiki, spots on to activate your powers. When you're done, say spots off.
Caline reached down and gently removed the earrings. They felt extremely tiny in her hands.
You're sure? You're sure about this?
She asked one last time. Oh, whoops. Tiki looked her in the eye.
We don't have a choice.
Caline let out a long sigh and put the earrings in.
Okay. Tiki, spots on?
There was a flash of red light and a surge of power, and suddenly Caline Bustier felt amazing. She felt like she had just drank 6 cups of coffee and was ready to run a marathon. She felt like a superhero.
Oh my gosh, it worked! Bug? Tiki? Where'd you go? Huh. I guess... Does she go into earrings? Weird.
Caline stepped over to a hanging mirror on the back of her door and examined herself. The outfit was similar to Marinette's, but with what looked like the addition of a red and black spotted jacket. The yo-yo hung lazily on her hip.
Oh.
Caline said as her fingers traced the thin jacket. Her hand trailed up to the outline of her mask.
Oh, hell yes.
She felt like she was flying. Caline leapt from rooftop to rooftop. Oof. Caline leapt from rooftop to rooftop like a cat leaps from counter to counter. She could feel the wind in her hair, but her eyes weren't getting blurry. When she landed, there was barely any shock or vibration in her feet. For fun, she did a couple of rolls as she hit the roofs. Caline made her way towards the Louvre, swinging from her yo-yo and diving dangerously close to the traffic below. The yo-yo had intimidated her at first, but it just seemed to work. All Caline had to do was think about what she wanted it to do, and it just did it. A flick of the wrist, and it was a Give me a second.
Take your time.
A flick of the wrist, and it was attached to a building. A quick spin, and suddenly she had a yo-yo propeller in her hand. She finished by flying into the air, somersaulting 3 times, and landing not 20 feet in front of Emotionable, who stood with his arms crossed, patiently waiting. Alright, more lines.
Alright, I'm ready. Alright, I'm ready.
So, you've come at last. Ladybug?
Oh, did it play? I
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it.
Okay. My volume was just too low.
No.
Emotionable lowered his sunglasses and blinked in confusion.
You look taller than I thought you would. And is that a new jacket?
Cool.
Caline took the scene in as best she could. She thought about what Ladybug would do. The real one.
I guess right now that's me.
She thought. Before she could think about it too much, Emotionable leapt in front of her and slammed into her with his head, causing her to go flying. Caline actually bounced on the pavement before rolling to a stop.
Ouch.
She grumbled. She knew a blow like that would have normally put someone in the hospital, but for right now, it just stung. She looked up in time to see Emotionable coming down on her position. She did a quick kickflip up. She did a quick kickflip up and dove out of the way, but not before he reached out and tagged her with his hand.
Gotcha.
He snorted. A patch of green goo appeared where she had been touched. Caline tried to brush it off, but it grew across her outfit and started to smother her. Caline panicked and tried to run, but she found herself firmly stuck to the ground. In a matter of seconds, the green goo consumed her, and she was plunged into darkness. And then she wasn't. When she opened her eyes, she was sitting in a hospital chair. Caline blinked. The window to her left was dark, which meant it must have been late. Also, she was in a t-shirt and jeans, which she hadn't been in before. While she didn't know where she was, something about all of this was hauntingly familiar.
Someone turned into
What?
an Atari game for half a second.
Oh,
It's
that
a-
must have been me, because I'm the only one talking.
Yeah. Yeah, everything
Sorry.
came through, so it's still fine, but yeah.
What?
She said, confused.
Where am I? Where's Emotionable? Did I get hurt? Am I dead?
As she went to stand, something slipped out of her lap and landed on the floor. Caline reached down to pick it up. It was a worn, paperback copy of The Great Gatsby.
Oh.
Caline said, suddenly remembering. Her fingers tightened on the book, crumpling the cover in her grip. As the book fell from her fingers and onto the chair, she knew why this felt so familiar.
Oh no.
She turned to her right. There, in the hospital bed, was her mother. Caline knew this wasn't real. She knew from what Tiki said that this was all in her head, and that Emotionable was just forcing her to project her fears around her. But that knowledge didn't change the sterile smell of the room, or the sound of the monitors. It didn't change the sight of her mother, wheezing in her sleep. This was the night her mother had given in to cancer. This was the night she had fallen asleep while reading to her. In the morning, the nurse would come in for a check-in and find her mother dead. But right now, Caline shut her eyes and did her best not to let her guilt overtake her. The one thing that had always hurt the most was knowing that her mother had passed while she wasn't awake. That she hadn't been right there for her.
Is this what they're feeling?
She asked herself as she forced herself to focus.
My gosh, those poor kids. Is this what they're going through?
Caline closed her eyes and took several deep breaths. In through her nose, out through her mouth. She did her best to let go of the guilt she was feeling inside of her. She focused. Maybe it was because of the daily meditation sessions she did with the kids to help ward off Akuma attacks. Maybe it was because she had already had years to mull this moment over in her mind. It could have been because she was an adult and had been given more opportunities in life to learn how to cope with her feelings. Whatever the reason, Caline was able to relax. She looked down at her mother.
I'm here to watch you die.
She said. Caline felt herself start to shake.
No.
She said, her voice firmer than she thought she could manage. She closed her eyes and willed herself to focus.
If this is going to happen, then we're doing it right this time.
Caline took a deep breath, then gently shook her awake. What? What's going on? Her mother asked. Caline sucked in a breath. She hadn't heard that voice in years, and she thought she had remembered it well enough. But to hear it now, so weak, so soft. The voice she grew up listening to was buried under that, slowly drifting away. Callie? Her mother... Oh my god. Her mother looked at her with sunken eyes. There was fear on her face. Caline could see that her mother wasn't able to push it back anymore. She knew it was time. Callie, I'm scared. Okay, that got cut off, but...
Oh.
Caline said as she bent down beside her mom.
Like, how do you whistle over a mic, for Pete's sake? It's okay to be scared, you know. You taught me that.
Her mother took her hand and squeezed it. Caline squeezed back as gently as she could. Her mother's grip was so weak now. Only a few days ago it had been so strong, she remembered. Now it was like holding crisp, crunchy snow in her palm. Callie, did you finish your schooling? How did the dissertation go? Did you do it, dear? Caline caressed her mother's face and nodded.
I did, Mama. And I got a job. A real good job as a teacher, right in the heart of Paris. And I have so many kiddos, Mama. You'd be so proud of them. They're incredible. They're my heroes, just like you.
Her mother looked up at her and smiled. You kept your promise? Caline nodded and wiped a tear from the side of her cheek.
I did, Mama. I'm taking care of all of them. 2 of them need my help right now. In fact, I need to get back to them soon.
Her mother tensed. But if you go, please don't leave me. I don't want to be alone. I'm scared. Please. She begged, pulling Caline's hand to her. Please, Callie. I don't know what's waiting for me. Caline continued to stroke the side of her mother's face. She knew this wasn't real. She also could never say no to her mother. But she could say goodbye.
We were reading. He fell asleep right before the end.
Caline said to her. She let go of her mother's hand and picked up the book from the chair where she had dropped it.
Why don't you close your eyes and listen, and we'll finish it together. How does that sound?
Her mother smiled at her and nodded. I'd like that, she whispered. Caline opened the book and thumbed to where she remembered being. It was right at the last page. That was strangely fitting, she thought. Callie? Caline looked up.
Yes, yes, Mama.
Do you think they'll have dancing? Caline was caught off guard by the question. She looked at her mother for a moment and sniffled back her tears. Her mother's eyes were glassy and unfocused.
Mama, if they don't, then I think you've gotten a bum deal. You demand dancing. Every night.
Your father was a good dancer. He would take me out every Saturday. We'd dance at Renee's, in the tea garden. Caline found the passage she was looking for.
Mama, you'll see him again. I promise. And he'll take you to he'll take you to Renee's. You'll dance every night. And everything will be okay. I promise.
Her mother closed her eyes, and Caline started to read out loud.
Gatsby believed in the green light. The orgastic future that year by year. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow, we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther. And one fine morning, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
The machines by her mother's bedside let out a long, continual beep before Caline reached out to shut them off. She leaned down and gently kissed her mother on the forehead.
Good night, Mama. I love you.
The world went green. Caline blinked as the world around her came into focus. She was still in the green goo, and she could see Emotionable reaching through it toward her ears.
Right. This is happening.
She thought to herself. Emotionable went flying as the green shell around Caline exploded. He looked up, dazed, to see Caline standing before him, her jacket fluttering in the breeze.
Alright,
How did you escape?
Emotionable generally confused at the sight before him. She was supposed to be trapped, broken, helpless. Instead, Caline was crackling with red energy.
You think you can hurt me with guilt? You think that gives you power?
Caline walked towards the frightened Emotionable, who was now crawling backwards and away from the furious superhero in front of him.
You miscalculated. I'm not some child who doesn't know how to deal with loss. I own my guilt. I accept it. I recognize it for what it is, and I do not let it define me. You think you have control over me? You think you know how to hurt someone?
Caline cracked her knuckles and rolled her neck.
You don't know what pain is.
A purple butterfly appeared in front of Emotionable's face. He cocked his head as if listening, but then shook it.
Forget it. I'm not risking my neck for you, Hawkmoth.
Too late.
Caline said as she charged. Later, the Lady Blog would issue a special warning concerning the footage that had been captured by a pedestrian's phone. The violence shown was not condoned by the Lady Blog, and the footage was labeled as not appropriate for children under the age of 12. Caline landed hard on Emotionable with a knee and knocked the wind right out of him. Before he could even respond, she had straddled his chest, grabbed him by the horn with one hand, and started punching him with the other. He tried pushing her off, but she caught his hand and twisted. She did not stop.
Oh, please, stop. Oh.
He screamed.
Nope.
Caline said over the sound of a crack. In the back of her mind, she really, really hoped those ladybugs fixed things as well as she thought they did. Emotionable was dazed and beaten. His right arm was bent the wrong way, and his face was a purple, puffy mess. Caline watched as a purple butterfly outline appeared again over his now really swollen head. Before the bull could say anything, Caline grabbed him by both horns and yanked his face and the butterfly outline to within inches of her own.
Listen up and listen good.
She hissed.
I don't know who you are or what you're up to. Let's try that again. I don't know who you are or what you're up to, but understand this. You're done for today. You're done for this week. No one does this to my kids.
She took a deep breath, and her words came out as a growl.
Yeah, that's right. These are my kids. If you ever try to hurt them like this again, getting in their heads, oh, I will find you, and I will make you bleed.
Who are you?
Emotionable said in a strained voice. Caline stood, her red jacket shone in the sunlight, and she smirked as she used her thumb to wipe a bit of blood from her cheek.
I'm Mama. Gosh, frickin' damn it. I'm Mama Bug.
She then stomped on the bull's sunglasses, which had come off sometime in the middle of all that punching. A purple butterfly flew out. She had seen this part online enough to know what to do next. One quick swipe and the Akuma was gone. A man in a suit was left sitting on the ground.
What happened?
He looked around.
I just visited my dad in the nursing home and... did I get akumatized?
Caline nodded to the man as she stood and dusted off her hands.
You're okay now, sir. Just head home. I'll take things from here.
The man scurried off as she looked around. She was waiting for the bugs to appear, but they never did. Suddenly, she snapped her fingers and nodded to herself.
Right, forgot the thing. Lucky charm!
She threw her yo-yo into the air. A baseball bat flew into her hands. Caline let out a low whistle.
Ooh. Good thing I skipped this part or he'd probably be dead by now.
She muttered. She threw the bat into the air.
Oh gosh. Miraculous ladybug!
She yelled. Did she have to yell? She didn't know, but it felt good. The bugs swarmed all over the plaza. Instantly, Cat Noir and Queen Bee were freed. They both immediately collapsed. Cat had a haunted look on his face, while Queen Bee was openly sobbing. Caline rushed to their sides and swept both of them into a hug.
Hey,
She cooed.
it's done now. It's over. It's all over, I promise. She was right there.
Cat kept murmuring.
I could see her. She was right there.
Alright, more lines.
Ladybug?
Gosh, damn it! Why is it? Oh, for the love of Pete.
God.
I hate.
Not to worry. She wouldn't turn around. Why wouldn't she just look at me?
Queen Bee wept. Parent-teacher conferences were going to be a bit different this year, Caline thought to herself.
Hey, it's done now, okay? It was just a very, very bad dream.
Caline patted both of them on the back as they both nodded and leaned back to talk to her. Cat Noir noticed first.
Who are you? Who are you? Oy.
He blurted out, eyes wide. Queen Bee was just staring, her mouth dragging on the ground.
I'm just a fill-in.
Caline said with a smile.
Gosh.
Here we go again.
Why does it? I love it.
Awesome.
Google Drive.
Like
is
I go off
great.
tab and then it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
What the heck?
Yeah, I love Google's audio playback.
it's so good.
Okay. Try again. 3, 2, 1.
Ladybug.
Queen Bee asked, amazed.
Camryn split the lines. Should be 54. Oh my gosh.
Not to worry. I'm not stupid. Old. You got, old.
I don't care.
Yeah. Good enough.
It takes a take.
I prefer mature.
Caline said with a frown. Cat Noir looked at her and blushed.
I do too.
He said without thinking. Caline bopped him hard on the head.
Down, cat boy. Let's save it for your lady.
Beside him, Queen Bee let out a snort. Cat Noir looked her over and nervously asked,
So you're not... What should we call you?
Caline ruffled his hair and grinned.
Like I told the bull, call me Mama Bug.
When Marinette came to, she felt like she had been out for hours. The first thing she noticed was that Caline was sitting beside her with a cup of tea in hand and an open box of pastries on her desk.
Hey there. Hey there.
Caline said in her concerned teacher voice.
You okay? You conked out pretty hard.
Marinette blinked in confusion several times before her eyes went wide. The Louvre! She shouted. I have to go. They need me. She stopped talking to let out a series of coughs.
Oh my gosh, she is a mess when she's...
Caline thought. She put a hand on Marinette's shoulder and looked her in the eye.
Your friends are fine. The monster is gone, and Cat Noir and Queen Bee... It's okay.
Marinette shot a confused look at Caline. But the Akuma needs to be captured. I need to go,
It was taken care of.
Caline said in a matter-of-fact voice.
Now, I've called your mother to let her know that you... fit. She's on her way over to take you home, and home you will stay. Understand, Miss Dupencheng? No more running all over the city spouting nonsense.
Caline shook her head and tisked.
Really? Going on about fighting Akumas and superhero. You really were out of it, you know that?
Marinette shot Caline a sheepish look and blushed in embarrassment. Thank you, she said in a small voice. Sometimes I don't know when to stop. Caline nodded in understanding.
I have that same problem with your parents' pastries. Here, have a scone. Here, have a scone. I had some macaroons, but they seem to have vanished.
Caline eyed the crumb-covered purse at Marinette's side. Thank you, but I'll pass. Marinette wiped the sleep from her eyes. Being sick doesn't lend well to food. Caline shrugged and helped the sick girl to her feet.
No, I suppose it wouldn't.
On her desk, Caline's photo dinged with a text. Caline's phone dinged with a text. She checked it and nodded while helping Marinette to the door.
Your mom is here. Let's get you home, hero.
Marinette cast Caline a quick glance, but then let the comment drop. The next day, early in the morning, Caline was checking the news on her phone while enjoying a morning coffee. Her classroom was empty, as school wouldn't start for another hour at least. It was the calm before the daily storm, and it gave her a chance to watch some videos of an all-new superhero that had appeared the day before. Caline murmured as she watched the footage.
That is a very flattering costume. This is good. This is a good morning.
She was so engrossed that she didn't realize someone was there until a voice cleared in front of her. She looked up and smiled. Standing there, hugging herself and looking mildly uncomfortable was Chloe.
Well, hello, Chloe.
Caline said with a smile.
How are you this morning?
Chloe stared at Caline for a while, and then started to rummage through her bag. She brought out a box of chocolates and set them on Caline's desk. Caline blinked in confusion.
Thank you. Whatever is this for?
Chloe frowned, as now it was time to play another one of her lines.
Lady,
I hate my life.
I'm not stupid.
She said in a terse voice. Chloe turned to leave.
You for saving my life. Or whatever. Thank
Did y'all hear that?
I heard it.
Yeah, I think so.
She said as she made her. Yeah, she said she sells seashells by the seashore. She said as she made her way back out the door.
You're welcome, Chloe, and please stop shedding.
Caline said as she sipped her coffee. Chloe stopped for only a moment, then continued out. As if to keep a theme going, around 10 minutes later, Adrian popped in. He looked considerably happier than Chloe, and Caline was happy to return his smile.
And good morning to you, Adrian.
Caline said.
Are you doing okay?
Adrian nodded, looked around for a moment. Caline gave a small nod in acknowledgement.
You're the only one here.
She reached into her desk and took out a small piece of stinky cheese. She had been saving it since their talk at the cafe, just in case. Casually, she set it on the desk.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Adrian said.
For everything. Well, you're welcome, Adrian.
She stared at him.
I take it the talk of your father went well?
Adrian grinned and nodded.
It did. I mean, he's not the most open person, but I think he listened. It was nice. That's good to hear.
Caline said.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Adrian blushed and rubbed the back of his head.
I am. In fact, I think I'm going to be okay. Going forward, I mean. Going forward, I mean. You know, it's okay if you're not okay.
Caline said.
I know.
Adrian said.
But recently I had to really, face my fears, I guess you could say. Afterwards, I realized they were more...
Adrian paused and frowned. Caline could tell he was wrestling with the words.
I was afraid of how I felt, my reaction to things. Not so much of what happened to, my mom. I think that was eating me up inside. Does that make any sense?
Caline nodded.
Yes. Yes, it most certainly does.
They smiled at each other. The cheese that had been on the desk was now gone. It took another 2 days, but finally Caline was graced with a returning Marinette. She had snuck in early, much like her friends a couple days prior. She looked considerably better from when Caline had last seen her, and she was holding 2 large white boxes in her hands.
Well, good morning, stranger. Welcome back to class.
Caline said with a warm smile. She set her phone down and leaned back in her chair.
How are you feeling?
Much better, Marinette said. The last 3 days were strangely quiet, so I got more rest than normal. It was just what I needed, apparently.
Apparently.
Caline agreed. She eyed the boxes Marinette had just sat on her desk. Were they donuts? Pastries? Any day white boxes appeared from the Dupan Cheng residence was a good day.
What's all this?
Well, Marinette said as she opened the first box. Last night I was feeling better, so I got back to work. So, honest opinion. Do you think your neighbor's son will like it? Marinette lifted a red and black Mr. Bug suit out of the box to show Caline. Caline nodded with a huge smile as Marinette turned it back and forth. The outfit was a perfect replica of Adrian's Mr. Bug costume, right down to the yo-yo at the hip.
Alan is going to love it.
Caline said.
How much do I owe you?
She reached into her purse for her wallet. Marinette bit her lip. About that, she said. She scooted the second box out from under the first and opened it. So, while I was sick, I had a lot of time to browse the web, read some blogs, watch some videos. She held up a red and black spotted blazer. Caline's eyes went wide. I guess you could say I got inspired. Caline set her drink down and reached out to feel the fabric. It was soft, but it felt like it was durable. There were no runs in the fabric, or blotches in the stitching. It was designer quality through and through. There was even red silk lining the inside.
Oh, sweetie.
Caline said as she stood and held the jacket. It looked just like her mama bug jacket, but where that one was more street, this looked like something she would wear to a formal dinner or a boardroom meeting.
This is beautiful.
No charge, Marinette said. Caline opened her mouth to protest, but Marinette held up a hand. You stopped me from doing something stupid, and a little bug told me that you saved my friends. You saved all of us. So, no charge. I insist. Caline eyed Marinette for a moment.
Am I supposed to say I don't know what you're talking about?
Marinette grinned. Please. Caline shook her head, eyes still focused on the blazer. If this had been in a store, Caline realized it would have cost an entire paycheck, maybe more. If nothing else, Marinette was a master designer.
Sweetie, this is too much. I can't take this.
You can, Marinette said
You can.
a small voice from Marinette's purse. The two women looked at each other for a moment. A now nervous, wide-eyed Marinette let out a small, uncomfortable giggle. Caline let out a long sigh.
If I take the jacket, will your purse stop talking to me?
Marinette looked like she was going to have a coronary right there in the classroom. Caline, however, just turned her attention back to the jacket.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can. Thank you so much.
She came around the desk and gave Marinette a hug, which Marinette happily returned.
You're amazing, kiddo. You know that?
You're a hero, Miss Bustier. You know that? Marinette said with a smirk. Caline blushed. As class started, Caline met the smiles and thumbs up from her students at her new apparel.
Oh, gosh. Killer jacket, Miss B.
Alex said.
It's lovely.
Rose cooed.
It fits you so well. Thank you.
Caline said. She did a turn to show it off.
It's a Marinette original.
Every eye in the class turned to an embarrassed Marinette. She flashed a small smile and nodded. It's true. She was met with a chorus of oohs and praise. It was a bit much for the superhero as she slinked backwards and giggled nervously. Caline looked around the classroom and took a deep breath, ready to begin the day.
So today we're going to continue talking about the Great Game. Now that we're far enough into the story, let's discuss the cover art and its reference in the story. Any thoughts on the symbolism of green?
If you were to call Caline Bustier a superhero, she would be the first person to tell you she wasn't. She wasn't a brave adventurer. She had no superpowers. Save one. As the kids in her class raised their hands and started discussing symbolism, Caline looked over them and realized that, if she had to, she would beat down 100 monsters to keep them safe, powers or no. Because whether they knew it or not, they were her kids, and protecting them was her job. She was Caline Bustier, teacher, confidant, protector, mama bug. And that's chapter 4.
I also see that Scrappy's left Kutos on this, so I guess I'll do that as well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I see your name down there.
That's an
Oh,
alt.
you're looking at the AO3 link?
Yeah,
I'm on the
AO3.
F10.
Oh, yeah.
That's
think
some imposter
AO3 has
using my... Go on.
Oh, I think AO3 has larger font, so maybe I should go there.
Yeah,
so
I
don't
just
have to.
I just find
I
AO.
have to, so I can stop shrimping.
Yeah, I just use AO3 because I find it easier to read, and I prefer the UI and all that.
Right around, you can change the font size on FFN as well.
That is true, but it's like, ugh.
Oh, I see. There is a plus and minus
wow.
button. Oh.
Oh well.
Excuse me. And yeah, I have not left kudos on this story. That is an imposter using my good name. I don't know what any of you are talking about.
Scrappy versus Metal Scrappy.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a
That got
good
that got
chapter. I don't much thing.
that got pretty real.
Yeah, that's recurring theme in the story. So,
Yeah.
and what did I
Can't
tell
wait for
you
the
all when
next
we read
chapter where things will get real again.
Yeah.
chapter 5 is actually, by comparison to the rest of the story, chapter 5 is kind of a breather story, sort of. We'll see. What was I gonna say? Yeah, good story. It had everything you need: romance, paternal love, comedy. Friggin' internet. Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
I mean, she is a gamer in the show, but dang, not she ain't. I don't think she's that wild. This Marinette would have the same energy as like the Wombo Combo commentators.
That ain't Falco.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I need to pay. Christina Valenzuela, so I have to like redub that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was a cute little story, and neat to see Caline go into the field as a superhero. That's something that happens in the show, but not for Caline. I mean, like Marinette has substitute Ladybug, but not as often as you think. Yeah, it was a neat little story. Hilariously violent. That poor man.
Yeah.
Poor guy got his face bashed in.
There's some man. That poor dude. I felt bad the first time reading this. I still feel bad.
Yeah.
And yes, given how the powers of Akuma, how people get akumatized, yeah, I mean, I hope his dad in a nursing home is okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, good job, everyone.
They're very good
This
acting, yeah.
good job, Raideran, and even if my computer actually botched it, yes, good job to Mr. Bryson and Miss. What great audio I got! That was totally butchered because my computer wouldn't even like play the stuff properly.
Yeah.
At least what, learning experience. Next time I get audio, I'll request it be done in MP3 format so it can be sent through Discord.
Yeah, that's probably for the best because Google's stuff can be really iffy sometimes.
No, send it to me in a .wav format. It'll be fine.
Oh god.
Yeah, it'll take up like 5 times as much space.
Okay, so now I know.
It's like .webp files.
Just frick.
That thing
Fierce.
that is the worst thing.
Well, WAV files are actually supported, I think.
Mm.
No, WebP files aren't.
Yeah, WebP. No, I can't tell you how many times I've tried looking for specific images. I find something, it's like, oh, that looks that's a good one. I tried to save it, it's a WebP file, and I just want to kill someone.
What do I do with stuff like that? I mean, I'm usually okay with WebP files, but best thing to do, I guess, is try and copy the image if possible, put it on like a private Discord channel, and then like
Yeah, that's why
that.
yeah, that's like a worst case scenario. It's just annoying that I have to do that kind of stuff in the first place.
No, I guess PSA to people who do that, Discord not last.
What?
So if you like want to post, oh, here's Discord image link on an internet forum, if you still use those, they will not last forever. So find an image hosting site that won't go down in 2 years, and I guess try and upload it through that.
Right.
Do people still use Imgur?
Do like 10 steps. Yes, they do, but I think they have to. I think you have to sign up for that now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you always had to, but I don't know. I never used it myself. I've just like taken images from it, but I never had
Yeah,
like
I've never posted to Imgur.
I used Abload when I was around. Farewell. Now I use what's it called? Direct Upload.
God, I saw.
So that's today's sponsors, folks.
Yeah. Just remember I saw a random post where someone says, "Oh, the P in WebP stands for penis."
I thought it stood for never mind. So I guess that is chapter 4. Good chapter, good. I mean, good reading for everyone else. Frick, like that was that technical difficulty took some stuff out, took some energy out of me.
Yeah. Oh.
So I guess better here than for the project.
And well, this is like one of the latest times we've ended an episode, so that's great.
I am sorry, Harry. I was downstairs, like I was dealing with stuff downstairs in my house.
It's
I
okay.
feel like we've gone later.
We have, but
Maybe.
yes, we have undoubtedly done later.
But
There was at least one episode from year 1 where I think we ended midnight in my.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I will not drag this out any further aside from playing a recent-ish promo that we got for the Great Disney Games. Just bear with me as I get that uploaded or get to the video. And oh yeah, I mentioned this last year. I told y'all would be crying in this.
Wait, what?
What? You're cutting out Scrappy.
Yeah.
I said I hate you. No.
No.
As I told you, as I said last year, I told y'all that Chloe would be crying in this story.
Oh, okay.
She is the Deku of the Miraculous cast in this fanfic.
God.
All right. For the last time tonight, let me share my screen. Actually,
Oh, jeez.
For old time's sake.
Yeah.
wait. We need to. I guess we don't need to see the image, but I guess we could show it. Like, how do I do that and actually like make it shown on Twitch?
Well, just show your screen, and then I'll change my OBS window.
Okay. Trying to make sure I don't have anything private.
Oh, right, you just show this, right. Let me know when you want me to switch my screen thing. It's fine now.
Like a week, yeah, uploaded like a week ago. It is from Miss Angelica Reed playing Charlotte LaBeouf in the Great Disney Game. At least 7 of you have seen/heard this already, but let's.
You've heard of the Princesses of Heart? Well, meet the Princess at Heart. I'm Charlotte LaBeouf, voiced by Angelica Reed, and adding some high-class pizzazz to this little crossover shindig. I won't be competing, but I will be providing some good old TLC, Tiana-like courtesies. Keeping the amenities comfier than a June bug and a June rug is gonna be more of an adventure than you can imagine, and it'll all be on story time. Au plaisir de se revoir, mes amis.
Hooray.
What was that at the end?
French for "see you soon, my friends," I believe. No, was it "until we meet again, my friend"?
Right.
see, it's funny because from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That joke died before it even took shape.
I'm gonna be honest, all I heard was Louisiana, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Honestly, just saying Louisiana is like marginally more acceptable than what I said.
Yeah. Oh god. Dying over her.
With a name like LaBeouf and her rich background, yeah, I assume she knows some French just to sound fancy. So yeah, that's a promo. Very good job from Miss Reed, and yeah, she might actually like she gets Charlotte, gets gets her personality and just her general cadence.
Yeah.
That's just some damn good rasp on her part.
Yeah.
And that is currently the last promo we have recorded. Great Disney game. So lucky you, Harry.
Yeah, there were quite a lot of those.
There'll be even more.
Oh
So
god.
stay tuned, folks.
Oh, for God's sake.
So yeah, that's about all I have. I guess do maybe a storytime direct sometime later in the month, but because yeah, I guess we need to talk about plans for this year.
Yeah.
From that, yeah, we will likely continue with this story or ceasefire days. Got the personnel.
How many chapters of the Ladybug are still left?
That's
6?
I mean, yes, but no.
Wait, huh?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, if you read it on FFN, then yeah, it's only 10 chapters.
Okay.
But those 10
so-
chapters are 10 individual parts uploaded to AO3 that are just kind of put under a general umbrella of what to do, I think.
Okay.
What to do, or the Miraculous World, Caline, Bustier. It's a series within a series. That's how AO3 is just neat like that.
Mm.
We call those sub-series.
So yeah, there's I guess their author just wanted to do a one shot initially. It evolved into like 10 parts, and then an 11th part that's like a multi-chapter thing. It's kind of the coda. And then there's like a outtakes story as well. We'll maybe get to that down the line, but we'll see. So there are 10 chapters, I guess, of the original 3, and then was it 10 chapters of part 11, and then outtakes, and then there's a sequel series.
Oh god.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Right, is that it for now?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you guys got
I don't
anything to
have
plug?
anything to add.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? What is so? I mean, aside spicy, really?
What?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Your
What are
remarks.
you talking about?
Your remarks to Miss Bustier apparently shipping her superhero student.
Oh, because it
Oh.
very heavily implies that when she's drunk, she writes fan fiction.
I mean, it doesn't have to be spicy. It could just be, fluff. Still weird, but
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be.
it could just be fluffy.
But you never know. When you're in that kind of state, like,
Okay, no comment. So that is about all I have. Just hope your 2025 has been good so far, folks, and I hope rest of it. See you all soon when we read the project. When I get all the audio. Okay.
Is that really going to be our next episode?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it'll happen eventually.
Okay.
Still waiting for a few submissions. I get to.
Oh boy.
I'll probably have to go. I need to probably install Audacity and get that stuff like bring together in one thing so I don't be jumping through tabs.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So until then, we hope you all have a weekend. Enjoy your weekend, yeah. Enjoy the thing I already said have a wonderful thing of. Good job. End the stream, Harry.
Bye.